A warm welcome everybody to this video where we're going to test the next-gen game title A Plague Tale Requiem on the RTX 2070 MAXQ. And we will test this for now at 1080p with NVIDIA DLSS set to quality at the high settings. So let's get started. Yes, I think that's alright. And we will test it in the intro sequence because that one is definitely fairly demanding. There are more demanding areas in this game, but this one should give you a really good look into how your 2070 will perform in this game, because I think most areas in this game should be around as demanding as this one is. And right off the start, at least in the sky, we got really nice FPS. And even in the forest, it still is looking not too shabby. Although we're already dropping from the 60s. But yeah, this one is definitely also already very demanding. Obviously, of course, for your GPU. And if you're looking at the system, which is obviously the XMG Fusion again, we are dropping our clock speeds in order to not exceed the 74 degrees temperature limit of the graphics card, which means that your graphics card may have a better performance than the one in this chassis does, because it simply doesn't go up to the full potential of the card in order not to exceed this temperature limit. Alright, but we're into the game and we're above 60 FPS, which isn't too bad, I would say. I mean, we're at the high settings. Obviously we're using an upscaling technology, but we're using it at the highest setting, which is the quality setting, so that's definitely not too bad. And we have a lot of vegetation around us and definitely a lot of fine details that have to be rendered right now. And I would say for that, we're definitely not looking too shabby in this game. So yeah, it's definitely playable. Well, let's see if we can actually ramp up our resolution to 1440p, which would be the native resolution of this monitor. And we're still at the same settings, highest settings, and NVIDIA DLSS activated, obviously. And it does look pretty good, I would say. I mean, we have lost around, what, 35% of our FPS, because before we were at around 60 FPS at the same area. But since this is not a competitive shooter or whatever, I would say you can definitely play it like that. And it looks absolutely terrific. Especially at this high resolution where you have all the fine details rendered even more detail than before. So we're gonna do some hiding from our friend there. Just crawl around in the grass. Oh. Ah, but we escaped. Barely, but we did. Nice. But yeah, it's not dropping. It has really nice FPS right now, and this game definitely is one which will test your GPU to the limit. And what I would say what we're gonna do now is we will go back to 1080p. And then set down the graphics quality a notch to medium, which is not gonna change every setting, but should change enough at least. And yeah, we're getting a 60 plus FPS experience right now. Even though we're obviously still having an upscaling technology like NVIDIA DLSS, not like the NVIDIA DLSS, we have NVIDIA DLSS in the background enabled, because otherwise we most certainly would not get these kind of FPS right now. Ha! And we managed! We actually won the game! Easy peasy.
Fair enough. Well, I'll get back to studying now.
And we beat him! As easy as that.
I'm still your mother's apprentice.
And to my opinion, it still looks absolutely terrific, even on the medium settings. Even on the low settings, this game still looks absolutely great. Well, let's walk around a little more. And what I would like to try is, what kind of FPS would we get if we were to actually disable NVIDIA DLSS? So let's find out and deactivate it. Settings is still medium settings. Although let's kick it up to high settings and find out how much FPS we're actually getting when using DLSS. And yeah, as you can see, I guess this is basically as if you were to play at 1440p with DLSS enabled.
Of course. Just don't fall. I never fall. Yes, sure.
But it is, to my opinion, most certainly sharper than it was when we had DLSS enabled. But at the same time, it now definitely does not feel as smooth anymore as it did before when we had DLSS enabled. So I guess there's a trade-off for you, and you have to make the decision if you would like to have the smoother experience or less input lag and a higher gameplay quality, I guess. But since this is a really cineastic game where you don't have that fast movement and have to aim at targets really quick, I would say go for the higher quality settings and enjoy the better graphics fidelity instead of getting some more FPS. But yeah, it's not bad. I mean, definitely for not having any upscaling technology enabled right now and still playing at high settings, this is an absolutely enjoyable experience, and you will definitely not regret playing this game on your 2070 MAXQ. Well, I hope you enjoyed the game and got a good idea of how well your 2070 MAXQ will perform in this game. And I'll see you next time around.